Hello students, this is Dr. Ranjini, Assistant Professor in Biotechnology. Welcome to e-learning session in cellular metabolism. In this session, we learn the other methods of removal of NH2 group from the amino acid. In earlier session, we have studied the mechanism of transamination where amino acid loses NH2 group, where it transfers the amino group to the keto acid. The deamination is the process by which nitrogen of amino acid is removed as NH3. This deamination is of two types. One is oxidative deamination and another one is non-oxidative deamination. One is oxidative deamination and another one is non-oxidative deamination. This oxidative deamination was studied by the scientist Krebs in 1935. And he showed that deamination of amino acids in various tissue is observed, but it is found in liver and kidney in a very active phase. That means to say this oxidative deamination is very active in the liver and kidney tissue. He also demonstrated the presence of D amino acid oxidases and L amino acid oxidases enzymes in the tissue, especially in liver and kidney tissues, which can act on the, or which can specifically oxidize D amino acid and L amino acid respectively. That means D amino acid oxidases act on D amino acids, whereas L amino acid oxidases acts on L amino acids respectively. And they can oxidatively liberate the NH2 group, or they oxidatively remove the NH2 group in the form of NH3 from these amino acids. This D amino acid oxidases, they act on D amino acids, and they are readily extracted in the free form. Whereas the L amino acid oxidases, they act specifically on L amino acids, and they are tissue bound. They are attached to the tissue particles, and they are not easily extracted from the tissue. And at the same time, when you see the activity of D amino acid oxidases and L amino acid oxidases, they differ in the flavoprotein they contain. The D amino acid oxidases, they contain FAD as the flavoprotein, whereas the L amino acid contain the FMN as the flavoprotein. When we were studying about the amino acids in the first semester, we all know that despite the absence of the amino acids in tissues, the amino acid oxidases are more compared to L amino acid oxidases. But the function of these D amino oxidases is not yet clear. Now we'll see. So we know the tissue is having the L amino acids. These L amino oxidases are auto-oxidizable. So they have the flavoprotein, that is the FMN, which is auto-oxidizable. The reduced flavoproteins during the process of oxidative deamination are reoxidized at the substrate level directly by molecular oxygen. In the presence of oxygen, L amino acid oxidases, flavoprotein will be reduced and it will be reoxidized at the substrate level in the presence of oxygen. and it results in the formation of hydrogen peroxide. It results in the formation of the hydrogen peroxide. And this hydrogen peroxide, as we all know, it is very toxic. It has to be removed immediately from the tissue. So this function will be done by the enzyme catalase. So this catalase enzyme convert this H2O2 into water. Let's see the process of oxidative deamination. So this oxidative deamination is mediated by the L-amino acid oxidases, which are tissue bound. They are very difficult to extract it from the tissue, and they have the flavoprotein, that is the FMN, and they act specifically on the L-amino acid. They act on L-amino acid. So this L-amino acid oxidases first the amino acid, that is L-amino acid, is dehydrogenated. It removes its H2. It removes its 2 hydrogen will be removed, and the flavoprotein gets converted into, it will be reduced. So this hydrogen will be attached to the flavoprotein, that is FMN, and flavoprotein will be in reduced condition. We know that it is reoxidizable in the presence of oxygen. So in the presence of oxygen, this H2 will combine with the oxygen, and it results in the formation of the H2O2. So this H2O2 formed is very toxic, will be neutralized, or it will be converted into water, and this function is done by the enzyme catalase. This function will be done by the enzyme catalase. So this is the reaction which is taking place with the involvement of the FMN. But after losing the hydrogen, when the L-amino acid is dehydrogenated, the L-amino acid gets converted into amino acid. Will be converted into amino acid. So you can see here it is CHNH2. After losing 2 hydrogen, after it is dehydrogenated, it will be C double bond NH. This is amino acid. It is again alpha because it is attached to alpha carbon atom. Now this amino acid combines with the molecule of water, and it decomposes the corresponding amino acid by removal of the NH in the form of NH3, and results in the formation of alpha keto acid. So it combines with the molecule of water, and it removes the NH in the form of NH3, and the remaining skeleton will be having RC double bond O COOH. This is the keto acid. Later it will be entering the Krebs cycle, or it will be converted into different intermediates of Krebs cycle, and will be converted into carbon dioxide and water. This is actually the oxidative deamination. So the cells are rich in L-amino acid, will be oxidized by the specific enzyme, L-amino acid oxidases, which has the flavoprotein, that is FMN. It is reoxidizable at substrate level, and it first in the oxidative deamination in the presence of oxygen, amino acid dehydrogenated, and flavoprotein will be reduced. Soon in the presence of the oxygen will be oxidized, and the H2 will be converted into H2O2. And this H2O2 will be detoxified by the enzyme catalase to form the water. But the carbon skeleton of the L-amino acid will be converted into L-amino acid or alpha amino acid, wherein we'll find C double bond NH. This is amino. Now, this amino acid combines with molecule of water and removes the NH in the form of NH3, and it will retain the carbon skeleton, that is the alpha keto acid. This is regarding the oxidative deamination. The mammalian L-amino acid oxidase, and it is containing flavoprotein. It is restricted to liver and kidney only. It is present only in liver and kidney. The activity of enzyme in these tissue is quite low. The oxidative deamination rate is very low. It does not have any effect on glycine or other L isomers of dicarboxylic or beta hydroxyl alpha amino acid. Hence, it is concluded that this enzyme does not fulfill a major role in mammalian amino acid catabolism and formation of NH3. So most of all the 20 amino acid will not be deaminated by the process of oxidative deamination, because the rate of reaction is very less and it is restricted only to the kidney and the liver tissue. Now, so that is the limitation of oxidative deamination in the mammalian tissue. Now we will move on to non-oxidative deamination. Non-oxidative deamination, as the name suggests, it takes place in the absence of the oxygen. There are certain amino acids which can be non-oxidatively deaminated. They can remove their NH2 group in the absence of oxygen by specific enzymes, and they can form the NH3. So NH2 will be removed from these amino acid in the form of NH3. And these reactions contribute to NH3 formation, and they play an important role in NH3 formation. There are only 3 types of non-oxidative deamination. First, we'll take up amino acid dehydrases. Amino acid dehydrases. Here, the serine amino acid is taken. Serine amino acid, the hydroxy amino acid. So serine is the amino acid which is having the hydroxyl group. Hydroxy amino acids like serine, threonine, and one more, homoserine, are deaminated by specific enzymes. So these specific enzymes are amino acid dehydrases, which requires pyridoxal phosphate, as coenzyme, and the enzymes catalyze a primary dehydration followed by spontaneous deamination. Serine, in the presence of the coenzyme pyridoxal phosphate, it will be removing the molecule of water. There is dehydration process. Water is removed, and after losing the water, it will form the amino acid. It will form the respective amino acid. Now this amino acid will remove the NH in the form of NH3. Will remove the NH in the form of NH3 by combining with a molecule of water. This amino acid, first it will be dehydrated, followed by the spontaneous deamination by combining with molecule of water. And here, this serine carbon skeleton is converted into pyruvic acid or pyruvate. So hydroxyl group containing amino acid, they will be deaminated in the presence of specific dehydrases enzyme. Serine, first it will lose a molecule of water, that is dehydration, in the presence of coenzyme pyridoxal phosphate, and it results in the following which it will undergo deamination directly by combining with molecule of water, and the carbon skeleton of the serine or hydroxyl group containing amino acid will form the pyruvic acid. So this is one of the non-oxidative deamination. The another one is deamination of histidine. Histidine is non-oxidatively deaminated by the specific enzyme that is histidase. Histidine is deaminated by the enzyme histidase enzyme. So this enzyme will remove the NH3 group and the histidine will be converted into urocanic acid. It will be converted into urocanic acid. So histidine in the presence of histidase removes the NH2 in the form of NH3, that is deamination takes place, and the carbon skeleton will be converted into urocanic acid. So this is another one deamination involving histidine amino acid. The another one is the sulfur containing amino acid. The sulfur containing amino acids like cysteine, then homocysteine are deaminated by the removal of, first it will loses H2S forming an amino acid. Later it will be hydrolyzed to remove the NH2 in the form of NH3. Here L-cysteine is taken, sulfur containing amino acid, first they remove H2S in the presence of desulfidrases enzyme, and later it will form the intermediate amino acid. So this amino acid will be hydrolyzed. It will be hydrolyzed. It will combine with the molecule of water. It will combine with the molecule of water, and at the same time it will remove the amino group in the form of NH3. It will undergo spontaneous deamination, and again the carbon skeleton will be converted into the pyruvic acid. So this is regarding non-oxidative deamination of sulfur containing amino acid. In all these three deamination, we have seen the removal of NH2 in the form of NH3 in the absence of oxygen. In the absence of oxygen. So the oxidative deamination takes place in the presence of oxygen, whereas non-oxidative deamination takes place in the absence of oxygen, but in the presence of specific enzyme. In the presence of specific enzyme, and later they remove the NH2 group in the form of NH3. So in this session, we learned the L-amino acid oxidases and D-amino acid oxidases and their role in the tissue in removing the NH2 group. And oxidative deamination is by the L-amino acid oxidases. This is tissue specific and it is very difficult to extract these L-amino acid oxidases. They are tissue bound to the kidney and the liver, and they contain the flavoprotein, that is FMN. And they remove the NH2 group in the presence of oxygen. And during this period, there is generation of H2O2. So this H2O2 will be neutralized, or it will be converted into non-toxic form of water by the enzyme catalase. And the respective amino acid loses the NH3 by combining with the molecule of water, and NH2 will be removed in the form of NH3. So that is in the presence of oxygen. And the next type of deamination is non-oxidative, which takes place in the absence of the oxygen, but in the presence of specific enzyme specific to the amino acid which is undergoing deamination. I hope you understood this session. Thank you.